Our customers rely on us to handle a lot of high-ticket items, like appliances and electronics, items that are expensive, and our customers expect them to last. But they're full of delicate internal parts, and some have enamel finishes that can chip if they're not handled carefully. That means that servicing and moving these items properly is a critical part of your job. We use the term servicing to refer to the process of preparing appliances and electronics to be moved or stored safely. And remember that in every area we're talking about here, it's normally the van operator or crew leader's responsibility. We need to understand the process so we can help in any way possible. You'll find that third-party companies service major appliances on the majority of moves, but we are occasionally asked to take care of some of the basics. For safety, when servicing any appliance, unplug it first.
Before disconnecting any hoses, it's important to check with the van operator or crew leader. In the end, it's his responsibility to decide if that will be done. If we need to move a washer away from a wall in order to service it more easily, 2 people are required. One person tips the appliance back and the other places burlap or cardboard under the washer. Then, by pulling on the burlap, you can move the unit without damaging the floor. Make sure water valves are turned off and the customer has removed the water supply lines. If this hasn't been done, talk to the van operator or crew leader. The van operator or crew leader may need to drain any excess water from the item into a suitable container. Next, loosen and remove the water hoses from the back of the washer. The hoses or any copper tubing are then wrapped in skins and placed inside the appliance for safekeeping. The customer should be able to produce the bolt that came with the washer to secure the drum. If not, advise the van operator or crew leader and allow him or her to determine how they'd like to proceed. If the bolt is available and the drum is secure, insert a washer pack, which is a styrofoam piece that keeps the agitator in the washer from moving about. Take the washer pack and fit it around the agitator by spreading the styrofoam arms into an X. Fit the washer pack tight against the edge or lip of the opening, making sure the top of the pack is even with the top of the washing machine opening. Use shrink wrap or painter's tape to cover and protect control panel knobs. Or you can remove the knobs, place in a parts bag or wrap in paper. Tape it shut and place them inside the washer. Then remove the drain hose and drain any water into the container. On a washing machine, the drain hose can usually be slipped into the opening in the back of the machine. Before wrapping the washer, tilt it back and screw all leveler feet to their lowest level. If they are not lowered, they can be broken off during the transport. The washer is then pad wrapped for protection. Use 2 pads to make sure the item is completely covered. Fold the pads in to wrap them neatly and use bands across the control area, top, and bottom to secure the pads to the appliance. When you're ready to move the appliance, be sure the burlap, cardboard, or piece of masonite is underneath to prevent damage to the floor. Tip the washer back, place on an appliance dolly, and strap to the dolly.
An electric dryer is handled like the washer. First, we unplug the unit, bundle the cord, and tape it together. Next, remove the dryer vent hose. The vent hose will contain lint and dust, so shake it out over a trash can, then put it inside the dryer. Tape the control knobs in the same manner as the washer. Just like the washer, the customer should have the bolt that came with the dryer used to secure the drum. Advise the van operator or crew leader if this isn't available, and allow him or her to determine how they'd like to proceed. Once the drum is secured, tip the dryer back and adjust the leveler feet all the way in. Then pad wrap the dryer, covering the appliance completely. Again, use bands across the top and bottom to secure the pads. Put the dryer on the dolly by tilting it the same way as the washer. Then, strap the dryer to the dolly before moving it.
A third-party company should always be used to disconnect and service refrigerators with ice makers. Once the ice maker is disconnected, and for refrigerators without ice makers, it's our job to service it for moving. Of course, the first thing we do is make sure the appliance has been unplugged. We also have to check that it is completely empty. The last thing we want to do is overlook any food that might not have been removed. While most of the time refrigerator shelves are removed and packed to prevent damage, some models have shelving that is securely in place. If that's the case, we still use masking tape to hold them in place. Shelves should be packed by the packers, but if for some reason they weren't and we feel they must be removed, it is our job to make sure they are wrapped and placed in a carton. If the refrigerator is clean, place some Reefer Sweet or a similar product inside the refrigerator and freezer to absorb moisture and prevent odor. Check the lining for cracks, mildew, or moisture, and note any unusual condition to the van operator or crew leader so it will be put on the inventory. Move the refrigerator away from the wall by placing burlap or cardboard under the appliance and pulling on the burlap. Then pad wrap the refrigerator completely. Special refrigerator pads with pre-attached straps can be used for easy padding. Once the item is padded, strap it to an appliance dolly. Refrigerators are made from relatively thin steel and can dent easily if they're not handled carefully. Freezers are handled like refrigerators. Pad wrap the freezer using 2 pads to cover the top, front, and sides. Band the pads across the top and bottom. If on level ground, a chest freezer should be moved on a 4-wheel dolly. If you must use a 2-wheel dolly, the freezer should ride with the compressor end down.
Television sets are packed according to their size. Big screen or projection televisions are custom created. The most ideal scenario is to pack the TV in the original carton, as long as the styrofoam blocking material is still included. If that's not the case, small flat screens are bubble wrapped and paper padded and then packed in cartons. Labeling should include arrows pointing this end up and fragile. Large flat screens or curved screen TVs should be bubble wrapped and paper padded before being placed in a TV carton or mirror carton that will accommodate the size of the item. Foam wrap can be used for extra protection. All open space in the carton should be filled with styrofoam support blocks, 2 on bottom, 2 on top. Or if using a mirror carton, with cardboard inserts, crumpled newsprint, or packing peanuts. Always label the carton with arrows showing this end up and fragile. Again, for extremely large screen TVs, we recommend custom crating. When packing TVs, make sure all electrical cords are unplugged and cables are disconnected, and tie them up neatly while taping or banding the cord before moving the unit.
Standalone microwave ovens are pad wrapped before moving. First unplug and securely wrap and tie, tape, or band the cord. If there is a shelf or glass carousel turntable inside, remove and pack or wrap separately. Place the microwave on a pad or space saver and wrap completely. Band the pad in place. It's also our job to know which items were not authorized or trained to service. Those that have to be serviced by the customer or a third party, which is another company that specializes in servicing that particular item. In those cases, the third party company will prep the items so that the moving crew can then wrap and load them. If special pieces are not serviced by experts, expensive damage can occur. There are basic criteria for deciding whether a third party is needed for service. Gas appliances, such as gas dryers or gas stoves, need third-party servicing prior to handling. Specialized plumbing service includes any item with a permanent water line, drain, or other plumbing hookup. An automatic ice maker, water softener, or hot tub with a water line all need special handling. Items needing specialized electrical service also need third-party service, like any item directly wired to a power source such as a satellite dish or a ceiling fan.
Grandfather clocks, extremely large plasma and flat screen TVs, pool tables, water beds, even some pianos may have to be serviced by a third party, all of which will be discussed with the customer by our salesperson. Once an item has been serviced by the third party, we can then accept it for loading. Again, appliances and electronics are among the most expensive items in our customers' shipments. If we service and handle them properly, we prevent damage and have everything ready to go at their new destination.